Hey guys, James here from TCG University, come back at you with another deck profile. Today I'm going to be showing you Tyler's Celinka 2-dot deck that he played during the Campus Championship. Make sure to check those out. If you want to catch them live, we record them at about around 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, so come hang out then, and let's get into this profile. Okay guys, Celinka 2-dot is a 629 with Death, Fire, and Good. We're playing our deck under Good today. This character has two different abilities. It counts as 2 in my staging area for card effects. It counts as 2 characters in my staging area for card effects. And then E, remove 2 attacks from a discard pile. If my attack deals damage, my opponent destroys 1 foundation and loses vitality equal to its printed block modifier. If it has no block modifier, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. So we gain momentum if our attacks deal damage and they get rid of like a no block, a 0 block, or a face down card. They get rid of that, we get a momentum. If not, they burn for whatever the vitality is, for whatever that block modifier is, which is very good. It is a stacker character, so we do play 3 other of the 2-dots, and then we also play 2 1-dots. The 1-dots have 2 abilities. E, once per turn, add 1 card from our staging area, from our hand to our staging area, face down, and then this non-throw attack gets +1 damage for each character in our staging area. These count as 2, these count as 1, so like at a max you can get 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 damage, which is pretty cool. And you gain a face down that you can play with there in that turn. And then form once per turn, discard momentum, which you could possibly gain with Celinka 2-dot, or just gain on your own. And then until the start of your next turn, your attacks get +2 speed, and your opponent's attacks get -2 speed, meaning you can block easier during your opponent's turn, and it's harder for your opponent to block during your turn, meaning your kills are easier and your opponent's kills are harder. On to how we get our characters. So I'm going to put these here so I get that out of the way. We play 4 Moon Ritual Dance. Moon Ritual Dance is a 7 low for 2 with gauge 2 that allows us to add 1 card with a print difficulty of X equal to the number of characters in our staging area from our discard pile to either our hand, card pool, or staging area from our discard pile. So we can either get a card to our hand, add 1 card directly to our staging area, or add a card to our card pool. Right, I'm going to make sure it says card pool. I read this last week and messed this up. Nope, hand, card pool, or staging area that we can normally play. X obviously equaling the Celinka, the number of Celinkas in our pile. With it being a 7 low for 2, it's incredibly fast, hard to block. If we get the 2 speed off of Celinka, it's a 9 for 2, which is crazy. And then like it only has it has a 2 check, but we don't care because it's also 4 diff. One of the cooler things you can do is late game when you get a bunch of the 2 drops stacked, you can just start picking up each of these Moon Dance and then go Moon Dance, Moon Dance, Moon Dance, Moon Dance, and just start looping them, which is really fun. And then the other gauge attack we're playing is Dispelling Horn. Dispelling Horn is a 4 mid for 4 gauge 4 reversal that gets +4 speed if we have more characters than our opponent. We're starting with the 2-dot, which counts as 2, meaning we automatically, depending on like the matchup, usually start with 2 characters to our opponent's 1, meaning we always have more characters than them at the start of the game, meaning our reversal is always an 8 for 4, which is very nice. And then like if it deals Celinka 2, allows us to blow something up, deal more damage. It's a whole thing, as well as having gauge 4 to be able to build more characters. We can give any attack gauge with the new card from the Worlds promo, a Moment of Rest. It has the 7 cross response of after we block with a character, we can automatically just add it straight to our staging area, which is very cool, especially since all of our characters are mid blocks, 0 mid blocks. And then it has the enhance of giving an attack gauge X equal to its printed damage, meaning you can give any attack gauge and then your opponent has to deal with it or you get to have your character, which is pretty neat. One of the ways we use our characters that like really function with our deck is Karen Soul. Karen Soul is just a 2/5 no block that says we can flip it to give -1 speed for each character in our staging area, and then if we block it, it deals no damage. So basically, when you build up a bunch of the 2-dots, you have like -5 speed. You can give -5 speed to an opponent's attack, and then when you block it, you take no damage, which means you basically just got rid of an attack for free, which is pretty cool. And then one of the last cards that interact with our characters directly is White House. White House is very unique in this deck in the fact that whenever we build a character, we add something to our staging area, which White House gets to respond with, which is its only ability is respond commit. Its only playable ability that you play is R commit. After a card is added to your staging area, during the combat phase, you draw a card. So you gauge a character and go, cool, I'll draw an extra card. And then you just plus hand size for free, which is pretty cool. The other ability is all checks to play action cards get -4, meaning it makes every action very hard to play. And then we have 4 Never a Day Without Training. We do play a couple more assets, but I wanted to get it. Want to talk about this card on this asset. It's a 1/5/2 low block spam that just says if we have an asset, we get to draw a card. If we don't, we just discard draw. It just kind of lets us funnel through our cards to get different blocks or get rid of non-attacks, 4 attacks, stuff like that. We are playing 2 Fatality in this deck. I have to actually I've been putting those over here. These need to be on this side. Yeah. Whoops. Sorry, guys. We're playing 2 Fatality. Fatality is just Fatality is a response that removes cards from our opponent's discard pile. Our opponent's not allowed to play things during the attacks, and then it goes for momentum afterwards, which is very cool for our Celinka 1-dot. Celinka 1-dot says we could just discard momentum, which makes having this in our hand turn 1 extremely good, being that we can go Fatality, sling it, or I guess get rid of this one because we won't use it anymore. But Fatality, sling it, goes to our momentum. We form, get rid of it. All our attacks get 2 speed. Play this. This is now a 9 low for 2, which is already 7 low for 2 is already crazy fast, and then 9 low for 2 is just nuts. We are playing 3 New Seong style to add anything we want from our discard pile to our staging area, which is pretty cool. It's a 5 high for 5 with a breaker 2, 1 mid block, powerful 4. I'm going to move that out of the way. That was have to go on this side. I'm great at this. We can destroy assets in our staging area to pay for its powerful cost, which we sometimes can, depending on what we have, how we want to do with things. And then one of its abilities is we can destroy 1 foundation to add an asset or foundation from our discard pile to our staging area, meaning we can just get rid of things. One of the cool things you can do, I'm going to pull it back out, is with White House. You can say you already used it once. You can destroy it with. You can use the powerful with it. Get to our discard pile, destroy a foundation or bring an asset in. Bring White House in, and White House will recognize that a card has entered your staging area, and automatically you can commit it to draw a card. Meaning you can just add White House in to draw a free card even on itself, which is pretty cool. A couple of the things we can add outside of that for like assets and stuff. We have 1 Scarlet Meteor. Scarlet Meteor is a 2/5/3 low block. Unique asset that says discard momentum. If your non-throw attack deals damage, add 1 other card from your card pool to your hand, which is very good for just trying to do some cool combos if you ever get extra momentum and stuff like that. Just having different outs and different combos you can do. And having a nice low block is pretty good. We also have 2 Omega Sword and Owl Shields. While it's in our staging area ready, we can block for free. We can block ignoring progressive difficulty, which is pretty sweet. And then the other ability that we can play, because we can't play the Cassandra one, is check a 4. Your attack gets a damage bonus equal to its block modifier, which just kind of says we make a couple more checks and give a small damage bump just to kind of just push our attacks just a little bit, which is also very good. The next attack we're playing is 3 Nutcracker. Nutcracker is a 4 low for 4 that gets 4 damage if our opponent's a male. And then we can add a foundation from our discard pile to our card pool to draw a card, which is also very good. One of the cards we'll add is Sense of Morals. Sense of Morals is a 2/5 no block that says it does not count towards progressive difficulty, so it makes adding with Nutcracker make it easier, because usually if you add a random foundation, I'm going to stick this random one, it'll count, so like 2, 4, you play your second Nutcracker, say 4, 5, 6, whereas if it's the Sense of Morals, it's 4, 5. You don't have to worry about checking bad, stuff like that. Put this back, which is also very good. Next, we're going to talk about our Spirit Shotgun. Spirit Shotgun is a 4 mid for 7 with breaker 1 and a 2 high block. It's a 5 diff. It basically gains throw, so it deals damage, half damage rounded up. And then it gets +1 damage for every card in our card pool that matches, for every symbol in our card pool that matches our characters, which is very good when we're playing, when one of our goals is to play a bunch of, well, I lost them all because I moved them. Which gets very cool. Oh man, I lost them all. Oh, they're below this. When you start playing things like Moondance and whatnot, Moondance has all 3 of our symbols because it's her card. You play a bunch of these in a turn and then finish off with Spirit Shotgun, and you kind of just win the game because it's 3 damage, 3 damage. Say you went through the entire thing, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, and it's like 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 damage just for free. Like, it's just, it can be very, very explosive, and it deals a lot of damage very early. Like, if you ever get to proc this really early, it's super good. Next, we have 3 Folktale Storyteller. It's a 2/5 with the 2 low block that says after it is played, we can discard the top 3 cards of our deck and move it to our staging area. It's a very cool block card. It helps us build early if we ever like check a 2 when we don't want to. It helps us just kind of just fill out our staging area or keep our card pool clean when we're trying to block. We have 2 Keikos. Keiko's Aid. Keiko's Aid is a 2/5/3 high block that says after we block, we can flip it to give our opponent's next attack +2 difficulty, and it's straight to an attack. So it's a little better than Breaker 2, but also not as good as Breaker 2. So like if they don't want to play an attack again, this just fizzles and you didn't do anything. But if they are playing an attack again, they have to deal with this, and they can't just like play a foundation to burn the Breaker. So it's a little give and take on how it works, how you want it to work. We have 2 Overly Dramatic. Overly Dramatic cancels practically everything in the game that deals with speed and damage almost. If it's minusing damage, it can cancel it. If it's plussing speed, it can cancel it. Even if it's not the direct ability that's trying to do it. Like if it's, for instance, man, I can't find anything right at this second. That sucks. Oh, well. If you're ever just like Punch and Judy is one of the cards I think about a lot, which is one of the main goals of Punch and Judy sometimes is just to play one to pick up the other so you can block. And this just says no to that because even though you could add because you're trying to do speed and damage as well, it just cancels it, which is a very cool thing. It's one of the reasons it's a very good card in the game is because it just catches everything. We have 1 Confronting Jetta. Our 1-dot does give speed, so having a little extra speed is nice. And plus with like the EX2 on Nutcracker, it can work really well for us. We have 2 Bakery Poster Girl. There's just a solid 2/5 with the 2 low block that just drops the speed to 0, making things very easy to block. We play a bunch of attacks to share our symbols. So we're playing 2 Friends and Rivals. Friends and Rivals is very good for our reversal and very good for our early game for our attack that's we want when we want to gauge and whatnot. Anytime you play a card that matches at least 2 symbols with your character, your opponent is forced to commit 2 cards, which is super strong. One of the best defensive cards in our deck, and in my opinion, the format, it can be either a side deck card or a main deck card, in my opinion, just because assets are prevalent and so are keywords. Keywords, not even directly like Breaker and stuff like that, but like comboing keywords. If I have weapon, if I have this, stuff like that, this just hard counters it. Remove after your combat phase. This is Ominous Prophecy. Sorry, I didn't say it yet. Remove after the combat phase begins. Name a keyword. All attack cards lose the name keyword for the rest of the turn, meaning they just don't have it. Whether it's in the discard pile, hand, they just don't have it, which is pretty neat. Then flip. Add 1 asset from its owner's staging area to their momentum. This works versus your opponent, like if you're trying to get rid of a pesky asset that you're tired of them having, just force it to their momentum. If you have an asset that you want to add to your momentum because for whatever reason it's holding you back, or you just want to get that momentum to do something else with it, you can go ahead and do that. It has a lot of versatility. Then we have 2 Protecting the Protector. It is a 1/5 with a 2 low block that says discard momentum, cancel anything that's disruptive against me. It cancels flips, destroys, commits, seals, removes, cancels all of that. Did you want to cancel stop? Cancel it. Did you want to cancel bang? Cancel. Like it cancels a lot. Yeah, I think this card is very good for the same reason that Overly Dramatic is very good. It just hits so many different things for different reasons that it's just nuts. And then 3 Wishing Word. Wishing Word is a 0/5/3 high block that says we can flip it to discard the top 3 cards of our deck and make our opponent discard 1 momentum. This just kind of keeps our opponent down on momentum, making sure they don't have a bunch of cards that could just blow us out, as well as it has a static that we get to use better than a lot of the other characters because we have because our characters count as so many. Whenever this is discard from our hand, we draw a number of cards equal to the characters we have, and because all of our characters are like all the 2 dots are worth 2s and all the 1 dots are worth 1. When they start adding up and we're forced to discard for whatever reason versus like a void deck or like a downward spiral and stuff, we draw like they force us to discard. Oh, I'll draw 2, 4, 5 cards. Oh, they do it again? I'll draw another 5 cards. Like it just, having that card while playing this character is just nuts. Thanks again for checking out the profile, guys. If you like the Celinka deck, let Tyler know down below, or you can join us on Patreon at the $1 level and get access to our Discord and talk to us there, as well as being able to check out all of our content live, our podcasts, all of our campus championships, all of that you can check out live. We're constantly doing things out there, guys. If you want to support us, you can, like I said, you can go to Patreon. You can even go to YouTube and Facebook, like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And to remember, guys, stay learned.